Hello everybody, welcome to A Practical Guide to Human Resource Management. My name is Jeff Stinson. I'm with Global Human Resources Outsourcing, and today what I'd like to do is talk to you about Chapter 1 of the book, which is what I title How to Hire Them. So the things to consider when you're looking to hire somebody is, first of all, decide what are the skills the employee will need to be successful. Second thing, write these skills down so you can refer to them later. Recruit for the position in places where the right people hang out. And lastly, test and or interview candidates for the skills that you need. So decide what skills are needed. The first thing we need to do is have what is called a position profile. A position profile lists things like who do they report to, how much money are they going to make, what are the education requirements, what are the duties and responsibilities, and then also what I think is very important is what do you want them to accomplish in the next 3 to 12 months. Here's an example of the position profile form. We'll make this available to you if you'd like, and you're welcome to tailor this to meet your particular needs. Here's an example of a completed form. This is for a senior administrative assistant, and you can see that there are a number of elements here that are very, very important for you when you go out to finally recruit for somebody. So the second piece is finding out where these people hang out. So obviously when you're looking for a senior administrative assistant, you might find them in different places than you would an accountant or perhaps a human resources person. So networking is the key. Networking fills approximately 60% of the jobs in this country. So it's important that you pull out your old Rolodex, if you're as old as I am, or your Outlook contacts in case you're a little bit younger. And that's where you start. You start by finding out, talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues, and find out if they know anybody that might fit the description of the person you're looking for. Recruiters are a good source. The problem with recruiters, of course, is you have to pay for that, but they're trained experts, and they will find people for you. Another possibility are professional trade associations. If you belong to those, usually they have an opportunity to list your job and help you find somebody. Employee referrals, you never want to forget about those. Those are very, very key. Employees know people, and they're usually very willing to refer them. And last but not least, of course, is the internet. And we have things like Facebook, LinkedIn, all kinds of sources that would be very helpful. The next item, of course, is you have to test and or interview the candidates. So let's talk a little about the interview, since I think all of us at one point or another will interview in order to hire somebody. I believe in a four-part process. The first part is the opening. What's the opening? It's 5 minutes of how are you, get to know you, how did the Lakers do last night, all of this kind of chit-chat that kind of puts the applicant at ease, but at the same time helps structure what's going to occur over the next, say, hour or so. The next piece is what I call the candidate discussion, and that's roughly 20 to 25 minutes in length, and I'll talk about that more in a second. That's followed by the third piece, which are questions. These are pre-prepared questions that you have in advance so that you can ask the candidates specific things that you need to find out about them. And then the last piece is the job, and the job is where you talk about what the job is, and if you like the person that you're talking to, you're also going to want to try and sell it, because even in today's economy, good people have multiple opportunities, so you want to make sure that they're interested in you. So let's talk about the opening. Again, you want to put the applicant at ease, tell them what's going to occur in the interviewing process, and answer any general questions that they might have. The candidates discussion is where they do the talking and you don't. And this is hard for a lot of us. You have to sit back and be quiet, and I would start with this question and then sit back for the next 15 or 20 minutes. Take me back to high school, and in the next blank minutes, tell me about where you've worked, your school experience, and anything else I should know about you. Now, why did I say blank minutes? It depends on the age of the candidate. Somebody like myself might require 20 or 30 minutes to go through my story. Somebody who's 20 or 25 years old may only take 10 or 15. So tailor that to the person that you're interviewing. The next section are questions. And with the questions, I always like to think of things in terms of gotta-haves versus nice-to-haves. So what's a gotta-have? Well, a gotta-have is simply a skill or an experience that the person must have in order to succeed. If they don't have it, they're not going to succeed, so that's why it's a gotta-have. A nice-to-have are all those other things that we'd love to see in a candidate, but are not necessarily critical. So ask questions about the past and not hypothetical questions about the future. Because while it's not 100%, people will typically do things the same way they've done them in the past. What can be uncomfortable sometimes is allowing silence. If you ask a particularly difficult question, the candidate might get a little bit confused and have to think about it. Give them that opportunity. Ask open-ended questions. So questions like, I see you went to school, that gets a yes or no answer and it really doesn't tell you very much. A better question might be, why did you choose that school? And then that gives you some more information about how they think about things. And then when you get the answers, you have to assess them against the gotta-haves. The last piece is make them an offer they can't refuse. An offer letter should include things like who do they work for, the start date, salary, plus bonus if any, or any other perks they might have, what benefits are available to them, and then anything that's legally required in your state, and that's very, very important. For example, here in California, we've just had some changes this year in the kinds of things you have to put into an offer letter. Never forget the at-will language, which means that you can basically terminate them for any reason. If there's a background check, you need to tell them about that, and lastly, they need to sign it. And once you've done that, that's it, we're done. And for more information, please refer to my book, A Practical Guide for Human Resources Management.